Hey, Mr. Cottone. How's your summer been?
It's been a great summer, Dr. Brewer. Welcome to Fireside Chat.
Yes, sir. Thanks. Thanks for having me over today.
Yeah, you do anything fun this summer?
Well, a couple things. Took a nice trip with my wife and saw some family that we hadn't seen in a long time, and got on a bike with you and rode around the community with some amazing Thunderbolts and Titans.
That was a great time. I'm looking forward to doing that again next July.
How about you? What'd you do this summer in addition to that?
A little bit of family time, some camping, and like I said, recharge went very slow. When I was here, we took our time, and I feel like I'm ready to roll. Starting in a few weeks.
Never been more excited about the start of the school year.
I agree. I've been looking forward to this for about 18 months.
I agree. Well, let's get started. We want to talk a little bit with you tonight about 4 themes that are going to undergird our school year. Relationships and routines. We recognize we also have an obligation to make sure that we take care of COVID-19 and protect our students and staff to the fullest extent possible from its spread. It's going to be so important for us to build a network of engagement for our students inside and beyond the curriculum, inside the classroom and beyond it. And lastly, we know that this year more than ever, it's important for us to help you as parents find ways to be engaged, so our methods of communication need to be as effective as ever.
When we think about relationships and routines, we think about nurturing demanders. We care first about how our students' mental health is, social emotional learning, and how they're feeling a part of this community. And then we also have high expectations for those students. So we think a little bit about empathy versus sympathy. We want to put ourselves in your shoes and know that it's a tough situation. But we don't want to enable our students and say, well, they couldn't do it because of this, because we know everyone's capable of doing it. So our goal is to provide that opportunity as staff members to make those connections with students and help build them up together. Similarly, we want to continue to build those student-to-student relationships. There are some 6th graders that have never been in the building, right? That's typical. But now some 7th graders too, and even 8th graders haven't been here regularly since 6th grade. That's really important for us to just reestablish the community connection.
As much as we're going to invest, the first fruits of our energies as a staff to rebuild relationships with students and between students and other students, it's also going to be important for us to reestablish routines at both Seneca Ridge Middle School and Dominion High School. We're going to need to think about how we reestablish our protocols for safety. And we certainly need to think about how we're going to re-engage students in a traditional classroom setting. We've been thinking about how we're going to manage lunch and hallways in a post-pandemic world. We know that we need to take good care of phones and make sure they don't become an overwhelming distraction in our learning environments. I know that at Seneca Ridge, Mr. Cottone and his staff are going to be expecting those phones to be in lockers each day. And at the high school, we want them to be a non-factor instructionally. And we'll have a variety of different strategies to make sure that we cooperate together toward that end. So we've got to reestablish these routines, but first we got to place the primacy of our efforts on building quality relationships, rebuilding quality relationships, and establishing new ones with our students who are joining us for the first time. One of the areas where routines are going to be really critically important is COVID-19 mitigation. So we want to talk about the different strategies, none of which are perfect solutions to the problem of COVID-19 transition, but when you put all of them together, they can help us reach our goal of 0 transmissions within the building throughout the course of the upcoming school year. At the high school level, we encourage vaccination for as many students as possible. It is the most important strategy we can implement at the high school level to keep one another safe.
And although not everyone in the middle school is able to be vaccinated at this point, one thing that we did really well last year at both Dominion and Seneca, if you were sick, please stay home. I thought that was a major health mitigation process that worked for us.
Last year, Loudoun County Public Schools used a formal symptom checker to help students and parents self-assess their wellness to attend each school day. While the symptom checker will no longer be in effect, we want you to do the same thing informally as you decide each day whether or not you're healthy enough to report to school.
And we still have those thermal cameras as you enter our building that will take your temperatures. We have other places to keep an eye on.
With full school buildings, it'll be a lot more challenging to fully distance. but we're going to need to set up our classrooms and our protocols around the building to allow students and staff members to have as much distance as possible between one another.
Masks were extremely successful last year. We're always asking our students to wear your mask properly over both nose and mouth, and students and staff, and that will be what we're doing the start of this year, and we're hoping that everyone will follow suit.
Proper wearing of the mask over mouth and nose is so important because of the airborne nature of the COVID-19 virus. People catch it from one another through air molecules. So it's important that air in our classrooms is as pure and clean as possible. Loudoun County Public Schools has invested in the most efficient filters for our heating, ventilation, and air conditioning on the market today. And they've supplemented those products with individual classroom air filters that will do more to keep our classroom air as safe as possible. We also want to make sure that we're keeping our high contact surfaces clean, and we give a big shout out to our facility services teams who've been working throughout the COVID-19 pandemic to keep us all safe through faithful cleaning processes.
And speaking of cleaning processes, number one is still washing your hands and hand sanitizer. I think I've used more than I ever will in my life over the last 18 months, and I think it's something that we should still continue to do regularly.
We're going to discontinue one-way hallways in our building, and everybody's going to be back to being able to use lockers, and those are things that will feel a lot more normal. It's going to be important for us to keep moving through the hallways as one, during class changes in particular, as one of our final mitigation strategies. I got to tell you, Mr. Cottone, this conversation about health mitigation is extremely important, but it's also extremely dull. It's not really our style.
Heavy?
Yeah, heavy stuff. So we should move into some more exciting news about the upcoming school year, don't you think?
I agree, but first I think we need to take a little break. Just relax.
Sounds good. See you in a couple minutes.
Nick Cottone, a principal at Seneca Ridge Middle School, and we obviously miss our students, so we're going to ride through each of our neighborhoods that our school serves. We're going to stop at each of the elementary schools in our cluster. We're going to make connections with families in our community, and one real priority for both of our schools for this upcoming year is for students to become re-engaged in the school process. Over the last 16 months, it's been difficult to do that from distance, and we've seen, especially at the high school level, a pulling away from extracurricular activities, for example. And we want to make sure that our participation, our students' participation, academically and extracurricularly, hits an all-time high when school resumes next month. So it'd be really nice to catch up with them today and just get them excited about re-engaging with school in person.
Mr. Cottone, thank you so much for the invitation over here tonight. Tell me about your dog.
Rainey came to us in January during the pandemic. She's still only 10 months old. Definitely a lap dog.
Rainey, pleasure to meet you. Welcome to Thunderbolt and Titan territory.
Yeah. She is definitely a major Thunderbolt Titan fan. Well, and speaking of being a fan, we're always looking for our students to get engaged beyond the curriculum. We need you guys to get involved. So you're seeing a picture here of Outdoor Cafe because there's lots of opportunities to get involved during the school day, during the morning recess and at lunch. There's also opportunities for us to do clubs and activities, and we'll have them all up on our website. The rule at Seneca, if there's an interest from the students and a sponsor available, we got the club.
Yeah, at Dominion High School, we're hoping by the time we get to high school, every single student finds a meaningful avenue for engagement outside of the classroom. That can happen through athletics, performing groups such as marching band, or through theatrical productions, and we have a wide array of clubs, just like Mr. Cottone was talking about at Seneca Ridge. Every single type should get involved in one of those activities as we seek to enhance engagement outside the classroom and carry over inside the classroom.
You know, when we speak about student engagement, it's really important, but there's always a misnomer in the secondary level that kids are a little bit older and maybe the parents don't want, or the students don't want the parents to get involved. We need you here. We need you either in the building or to be a part of something. And one place you could start off is just working with us with Schoology, helping to be a part of students' classes and know what's going on and working together. So that conversation over dinner can be a little bit more pointed about what happened in math class today. The other thing that we talk about, we regularly have those parent coffees at Seneca, and that's really important for us to get together and have an opportunity for parents to voice their questions and for us to share some of the things we have going on. How about you guys?
Yeah, you know, it's important to emphasize the power of Schoology as a communication tool and as our learning management system. So parents, we hope to empower you even more than last year with skills that you can utilize and information from Schoology that help you support your Thunderbolt or your Titan academically. We're going to use some parent seminars here during the month of August to help the hundreds of you, parents, actually thousands, who have not yet had an opportunity to send a student to Dominion High School. So we invite all of our parents, but specifically those of you who are parents of 9th and 10th graders who haven't attended the high school before, to come and join us for our series of parent seminars that we'll talk about more in just a few minutes.
And with our PTO meetings generally will be Wednesdays, once a month. The key is always a group effort. So we have multiple committees for our events, and the more people we have, the easier it is and the more fun it is. So please consider getting involved with our PTO and joining a committee for one of our special events this year.
Yeah, and at Dominion, the PTO is called Atlas, and we'll meet about 4 times this year to provide parents with further timely information about topics that are really important to the lives of adolescents. And we're also going to be asking Atlas to organize some grade level parent groups who can help us engage the students in each grade level according to their unique needs. For example, our seniors, we're going to put together some really special opportunities for you to engage right away during those first 2 days of school. We're going to need some parent support to pull that off.
And then last but not least, we have that weekly newsletter that comes out like clockwork every 6 p.m. on Sunday. I won't lie to you, typically when I'm writing up the finishing touches, I'm watching the Eagles, and last year you didn't hear as much. We had a little bit of a rougher season. How'd your Bills do?
Hey, thanks for bringing that up, Mr. Cottone. I remember last year at this time we were talking about, hopefully, since there was a new quarterback in New England, the Buffalo Bills were going to have a fantastic season, and they did. But I got to say, it wasn't because of the guy who wasn't in New England anymore. It was because of the guy, Josh Allen, who was in Buffalo. He did a great job, and I can't wait to see how this season turns out for the Bills and Eagles.
Well, for the Bills, we're not going to hold our breath with the Eagles.
We got some exciting opportunities coming up for engagement, and we want to tell you about those. We want to start with our series of parent seminars, which begin this Saturday morning at 9:30. Just want to remind you, parents, particularly those of you who are parents of 9th and 10th graders, we urge you to come in person. We will have a live stream available, but this is an interactive dialogue that's best had in person. We will ask all of our guests to wear a mask as part of that mitigation strategy. We promise you very timely information about how you can support the learning and engagement of your Titan. Now, to help those of you who are sophomores or students and you haven't been in the building yet, we're going to hold a special event for you on the afternoon of Friday, August 20th. More information to follow. Parents, we're going to need some sophomore parents to help us make that really special opportunity for students, not just to move around the building, find their classrooms, but also to re-engage with one another and in a new school environment. We're going to follow that up with our traditional freshman orientation on Monday, August 23rd, led by our phenomenal mentors, the link leaders, juniors and seniors. We're going to build great relationships and lead our freshmen to a successful year of engagement and excellence in the classroom and outside of it. How about you at Seneca Ridge, Mr. Cottone? How are you welcoming your students and parents back?
At first, it's nice to hear our freshmen are in good hands. We appreciate you guys working with them. And then the next thing I would say, our big day is August 24th. That's going to be a time when our 7th graders who haven't been in the building can come in the morning around 10 and get a tour. And then at 1 o'clock, we have our Thunder Day, which is orientation, where you can get your locker and your schedule. And then if you wanted to come in the evening for a more formal program, we have our back to school night. So that's our big day of connecting with families, in addition to some of the outreach with important dates that we're talking about throughout leading to those dates. August 26th, students coming in for the first day. Those bells ring, 8 o'clock to open the doors and 8:30 to get started, and we're looking forward to them being an advisor.
Yeah, and then on August 25th, the day before school officially begins, all parents and students are invited to come to our annual Zero Day. During Zero Day, students and parents get to meet every teacher, find every classroom. Our freshmen and sophomores can find their lockers for the first time. And it's really powerful, parents, for you to be able to do that with your Titan for the very first time, meeting the teachers, finding out what those expectations are. We're going to have a really exciting Thursday and Friday at Dominion and at Seneca Ridge. Seniors, are going to be a couple of special opportunities on the very first day of school. We'll be in touch about those very soon. But for everybody at Seneca Ridge and at Dominion, Friday, August 27th is going to be an extraordinary day. We are blessed with Providence that we're going to host our first varsity football game in almost 2 years, and not just against any opponent, but against the Purple Panthers of Potomac Falls. We hope you'll be there. We're going to host a pep rally at Dominion late in the day, followed by a tailgate party at both schools, and then the game starts at 7 p.m. We hope to pack the stadium like never before. Anything more, Mr. Cottone, that we're going to be doing to get ready for this?
I cannot tell you how excited I am to start off a normal school year. And I'm looking forward to everybody being back in the building. I'm really looking forward to having it.
Can't wait to get started. Can't wait to see you soon. Go Titans.
Bam!